Hey everyone, it's Sarah and today I am filming my 5K Q&A. So I am so excited to be doing this. I am so excited to have reached the 5,000 subscriber mile marker, if that makes any sense, or milestone. I am just so thankful to all of you who watch these videos, who leave me beautiful, nice comments all the time, who interact with me and talk to me about perfumes, and I just appreciate you all so much. It's just such a bright spot in my day to get comments and to just interact with you guys. So anyways, I'm gonna leave that at that because I've got so many questions here. You guys really asked a lot of questions, which I was really excited about. I am going to try to get to all of them. If you ask me a question and it is not in this video, most likely I am making an entire video to answer that question. Those are questions like 5 for life, things like that. So I will definitely do full videos. So don't feel like your question is not going to be answered. It just is going to get a video alone so that so this one isn't like an hour long. So let's go get right into it. First question. How did your love of perfume start? What was your first bottle? So this is going to be many questions in one. How did your love of perfume first start? So my mother always wore beautiful perfumes when I was a child. She wore Poison. She wore YSL Rive Gauche. She wore Tender Poison. I could go on and on. My mother always had a lot of really beautiful perfumes, and being a very small child, I remember getting into her makeup and playing with her perfumes, and my love for fragrance grew from there. So what was your first bottle? My first bottle of perfume that I remember owning that was specifically bought for me was Debbie Gibson Electric Youth. So if any of you guys remember the 80s, you will remember that perfume. I will try to find a picture of it and throw it up here so you can see. It was really cool for its time. It had this like square black cap and pink on it, and it had a pink spiral that went around the little nozzle thing that went down in the perfume. To me, it smelled like heaven. I was obsessed with Debbie Gibson when I was younger, so it makes sense. I remember for Christmas that year, I also got, and this must have been when I was about, I don't know, 7, possibly. I think I was about 7. I was about my daughter's age, and I was obsessed with Debbie Gibson. And I remember for my birthday that year, my mom bought me a little aqua boombox and Debbie Gibson's first tape. And I remember playing that tape in my little boombox, carrying it around, I mean, forever. And after my Debbie Gibson obsession came New Kids on the Block and so on and so forth. So, okay. Did anybody think you were weird because of your obsession? No, I've never had, most people don't know that I have like a perfume obsession. It's not like commonly known except for, of course, all of you and then my immediate family, but nobody has ever thought I was weird for it. Were you ever embarrassed to show others? No, I'm not embarrassed of my hobby. It's the only thing that I have a lot of. I'm not into shoes or clothes or bags or jewelry. I don't really collect anything else. I don't have a lot of anything else except for makeup and perfume. Those are kind of my vices. And so yeah, is it hard not to buy? Yes, I could put myself on a no buy and that would be fine. I'm one of those people though that I can easily go through my collection and take things out, as you've seen with the declutter, take things out that I know I'm not using, resell them, and then sometimes I'll use that money to buy more perfume so I don't feel so bad about spending, but it's not terribly hard for me to not buy. Where do you apply perfume and how much, and how many times do you reapply a day? So I will tell you, I do not reapply perfume throughout the day if I'm at work, which is most days. I don't have time for it. I wouldn't spray perfume in like a public place anyways, just out of respect for everybody else. But when I apply perfume to both sides of my neck, kind of towards the back, because perfume does have a lot of alcohol in it, which is very astringent, so I don't like to spray that on the front of my neck. I do spray the back of my neck and down kind of towards the top of my back. I do spray down both arms. I spray down the front of me, and then I also spray my hair. So I do spray quite a bit of perfume. If it's a very strong perfume like a Mugler perfume or something like that, then I may only spray like one spritz on each side of my neck and then maybe my wrists or my inner arms, because, you know, if it's something that's really, really nuclear, I'm not going to spray that many times. But how many bottles of perfume do you have? At the moment, I don't know. I know before I did my declutter, I'm thinking I had in the 200 bottle range, but since I've done my declutter and then I have done a lot more purchasing, so I don't know. I would say between 150 and 200 bottles possibly. And that's just full bottles. That's not counting all the decant samples and minis that I have, which is a whole different situation. What is your job outside of home? So this is probably the most asked question that I got. What do I do for work, or what do I do for a job? I work in the automotive industry, and I am currently working for an auto manufacturer, so a luxury automobile manufacturer, and I actually build hybrid batteries. So yeah, I did build cars at one point. I've had like 4 different jobs since I've been there. So, but yes, I did build cars at one point, and then close to a year ago, I went to building hybrid batteries. So that's what I do for a living. I am in a man's world, and yeah, I'm in a man's world in both places, really, at work, in my everyday job, and in what I do here on YouTube as well. So that's why I tend to focus more on women, because my whole life is kind of dominated by men at this point, and so I really do like to focus on us ladies and support us ladies. I love men, don't get me wrong, but like I say, my whole life is kind of dominated by men, so I tend to kind of stick to the female side of things when I am not working. Okay. What is your favorite woody perfume? My favorite woody perfume, my favorite woody perfume, I would have to say, is probably Replica, Maison Margiela Replica by the Fireplace. It's beautiful, it's smoky, but it's still sweet. It doesn't lean too masculine, so that is probably my favorite woody perfume. If you could make your own fragrance now, what kind would it be? I got another question like this, so I'll go ahead and combine the two, which was... Okay, the other question in that same vein was, if you created your own fragrance, what would it be and what notes would you use? So I have found a perfume, and I will be talking about it in a different video, but I have recently become so obsessed with one single fragrance that I think I would want to create a fragrance like that, and it is an aromatic vanilla fragrance. It is stunning, and I think if I could create my own fragrance right now, that's what it would be. It would be an aromatic vanilla, something with like a heavy, slightly sweet vanilla base. I would love to play with sage and just different kind of herbal notes or aromatic notes, and play with that with a base of vanilla. So that is my current obsession, and I think that that is what I would do if I created a fragrance right at this moment. Let's see here. What is the very first fragrance you ever remember wearing? That would be Poison by Dior. That is the first fragrance of my mom's that I remember getting into and spraying on myself. So that is the first fragrance that I ever remember wearing. What is your favorite floral note? My favorite floral note, that's a hard one. It would be a toss-up between tuberose and violet. I love those two notes so much. So I'm gonna say that would be a tie. It's either tuberose or violet. What is your favorite designer house? My favorite designer house is probably, well, if you consider Guerlain designer, some consider it niche, some consider it designer. I consider it designer, so I would go with Guerlain. That's my favorite designer house. How do you choose your perfume every day? Do you always use a different one, or do you use one for a few days in a row? I wear a different fragrance every single day because I'm constantly buying new fragrances. So I'm usually, anything that comes in the mail the night before, I will wear it the following day. Or if I get a lot of perfumes, I will set them out on my desk and I will wear, you know, a different one every single day until I rotate through everything that I have. If I'm going through a phase where I'm not buying a ton of fragrance, which it hasn't happened since I've been doing, since I've been focusing on fragrance for my YouTube channel, I am typically testing fragrance every single day. So, yeah, but if I am not buying a lot of fragrance, I will go through my collection and I will pull out 5 or 6 fragrances that I want to wear that week, and I will put them on my desk and I will rotate through them that way and then rotate them back into my collection as I wear them. What are your fragrance? This is a long question, so I'm going to get through this quickly. What are your fragrance aspirations for the future? I'm a collector. I always have been, and I can see myself just continuing to do that. I love that I have an outlet for it now with my YouTube channel, so I will continue to make and post videos because this has become such a passion for me. I love it so much. Do you see yourself owning more bottles or less? More, for sure. I do try to keep a good balance, though. I do try to move some things out that I know I'm not using as I get new in so that I don't get overloaded, but I don't see myself owning less. Do you ever feel awkward not putting on a fragrance in the morning? Yes, I cannot and never have been able to not wear perfume. So yeah, I have to wear it. Is quality or quantity more important to you? Definitely quality. That's why if I buy a perfume and it doesn't work for me, it doesn't fit my lifestyle, which is long work days and things like that, I will immediately just resell it or gift it. So yeah, quality is really the most important thing to me. Does your daughter share the same passion for collecting that you do? Yes, she is very passionate about her things. She has a lot of toys and things like that, and she has a really hard time of letting go of things. So her father and I we don't have a hard time of letting go of things. I can very easily, if it's not serving me anymore, if I don't use it, if I'm not getting use out of it, I can very easily just kind of let go of things. So but yes, she does have the same passion for collecting the things that she loves as I do. How has starting a channel impacted the hobby for you? So when I actually first started a beauty channel, so I used to do more beauty related videos, and it was funny because I didn't know anything about the kind of fragrance community on YouTube. Sorry, I didn't even realize it was a thing until I came across Amy Loves Perfume, her channel, and she was really the only fragrance reviewer or channel that I watched before I started my own channel. But yeah, her channel definitely inspired me to kind of move more into the fragrance world because I didn't realize it was a big thing. And then, but I'm kind of older, like I'm not really with it, and so I didn't, like I say, I just didn't know. But I am so happy that I did, because yes, I am still buying makeup and trying new makeup all the time, but the beauty world here on YouTube is a different animal, and I didn't really have a good understanding of what I was getting into when I started with beauty. And all I'm going to say is I'm very thankful that I am focusing more on fragrance, because I have more of a passion for fragrance. I always have my entire life. So there's that. How has it impacted the hobby for me? I buy more. I'm testing more because that's what I do. I'm here to test, and review fragrances for you guys so that you don't have to pay for something that you're not going to like, so that people have a place to go to look up things about different perfumes, different houses, different things, so that they can get some sort of an education on it before they have to go and spend their hard-earned money. So yeah. Do you speak any languages other than English? No. I wish I did. I used to, or I'm sorry, in high school I took German, so that was, 25 years ago. And in college I took French, so I definitely learned a little bit of a couple other languages, but I've always been really, really bad at it. So no, I don't speak any other languages. Favorite dream vacation destination, and what fragrance would you take with you? So, this is hard. My favorite, my dream vacation right now that I have wanted to do for so long and will want to do until I can actually do it, is I want to do one of those Viking river cruises where I can get on a cruise ship for weeks at a time, not just a few days. I want to be on a cruise ship for weeks, going down the Rhine River or wherever that we can stop, and I can go into different countries and things like that. So that is my dream vacation. And what fragrance would I take with you? I would probably take the one that is my current obsession right now, which is the Sylvain Delacour. What is it called? Sylvain Delacour Virgil is the fragrance that I would take with me, because it is the perfect fragrance in my eyes. I think that is, if I'm ever going to have a signature, I think that's going to be it. So that is the fragrance I would take with me right now. Why are you moving? More space for your perfume collection? No, actually, we sold our house and moved because we are downsizing. So we had a 1,500 square foot home, and it was just too much space for us. We only used about a third of the house, maybe half of the house. And so we realized that we were cleaning, heating, paying for space that we did not use. And so we are downsizing. We are going to buy a smaller home and something that is less expensive, because we are really looking for financial freedom. So yeah, we are downsizing. My husband is going to build me a she shed when we downsize, so that I do have my own space to film and for my perfume collection, because it will not fit in whatever house we end up getting. Funny or awkward situation with perfume? That would be the only thing that I can think of, is the one time after I had bought Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice, I think is how it's pronounced. But I bought that. I was so excited because it had been so hyped up in the fragrance community. Everybody loved it. So I sprayed it on and I went to work and I sat down in the break room. And as soon as I sat down in the break room, the guy that I was sitting next to me said, "Did somebody just wipe something with Clorox wipes?" And I said, "No." And he was like, "What smells like Clorox wipes?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, is it my perfume?" And I let him smell me, and he was like, yeah, you smell like Clorox wipes." And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing. So needless to say, I immediately came home and sold that, and I've never worn it again. So it was awkward, and that's the most awkward situation I can think of. Have you ever bought a fake perfume, and how would you deal with that? Yes, I have. So I have definitely run into fakes on Mercari. The only reason that I bought a fake was because they had a picture of the real perfume, which I'm sure that they had taken from somebody else's listing, and then what they sent me is absolutely not what was in the picture. So as soon as I received it, I knew it was fake. I immediately contacted Mercari, took a picture of it, sent it to them, and they're so great about immediately refunding you. So yeah, I was immediately refunded, and that's happened to me, a handful of times over the course of many, many years of me purchasing fragrance on Mercari and eBay. You are definitely going to run into dishonest people. You are definitely going to run into fakes. And yeah, if you know that you got a fake, you just have to resolve it with the selling platform, they're usually very, very good about resolving those issues for you. How long have you been a fragrance collector? virtually my entire life. So I've definitely gone through highs and lows with it. I've definitely gone through periods where I have been very, very sensible and only collected like samples and decants and just had a massive collection of them. And then I've gone through periods like right now where I have tons and tons of bottles. So I would say that I've always been a fragrance collector. I have always had no less than 5 bottles of perfume at all times. And except for when I was like in high school, I would say because even when I was like, even during my Debbie Gibson Electric Youth phase, I had Debbie Gibson Electric Youth, I had Charlie White, I had Malibu Musk in the spray can, if you guys remember that. I had, Love's Baby Soft. I had I had a little collection of perfume when I was my daughter's age. So yeah, I would consider myself having been a lifelong collector, except for probably between the time of like about 15 when I was like in high school until probably about 22-ish. During those years, I was really good about just having a signature fragrance. And so yeah. But other than that, I've always collected. How did you get started in perfume collecting? Just when I was a kid, I just always, if we ever went to the drugstore, and that's what most of my perfumes were when I was a kid, were drugstore perfumes, but if we would go to the drugstore, that's where I was headed. I was headed to the makeup and fragrance section, and if I were allowed to get something that time, I would always pick a perfume or some sort of makeup that was acceptable, for my age. What hair dye do you use? I actually don't use hair dye at all. I've got a few little grays up in here, but this is my natural hair color, and yeah, I don't use hair dye. Do you use fake lashes? No. Every once in a blue moon I will wear fake lashes, but very, very rarely. If not, what mascara do you use? I've always got about 4 or 5 different mascaras that I'm using. It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara I love. I love the original L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. I love the Marc Jacobs Velvet, I think it's Velvet Noir possibly. That's a good mascara. I'm looking over at my makeup place right now. And I think that's what I've got in rotation right now. I absolutely love the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. So yeah, but those are the most used mascaras. What does your husband think of your fragrance obsession? He doesn't like having a lot of anything, so he does not like the fact that I have so much stuff everywhere all the time, but he is at the same time super, super supportive of it, so he just deals with it. That's why he wants to build me a she shed so that I can have like shelves and proper storage for everything that I can keep dark and cool. So yeah, he's fine with it as long as there's an actual space for it, and right now we really just don't. So I've got all the shelves behind me full. My desk is always full of perfumes and cluttered, but it's really not space that he uses, so he's okay with it. Would you consider doing more videos with your husband and daughter? Yes, absolutely. As the kind of opportunities arise, I will definitely film with both of them. I'm still working on getting my mom on camera as well. What inspired you to start a fragrance YouTube channel? So again, I initially started a beauty YouTube channel, which I was into beauty for probably the first 6 months or so that I had a channel, and then I transitioned into fragrance sometime early last year. So, and what inspired me to do it, again, Amy Loves Perfume, her channel is what inspired me to move into fragrance more. If you have not checked out her channel, you guys definitely have to, because her videos are so amazing, and yeah, I just love her. Okay, what is the most amazing place you've traveled to? So I have been to England 5 times because I adore it. I have a degree in history and I concentrated in British history, so there's just something in my heart that is in England, and so that is my favorite place to travel to. I have been to Paris, France twice. I have been to Rome, Italy. I have been all over the western side of Canada because I grew up in Washington State, so I went up into Canada all the time. I still try to go up into Canada every time I go home because I adore it. I've obviously traveled to Mexico, so I've been some places. I've been on some cruises to the Caribbean, things like that, but my favorite place and like where my heart is England. So, let's see here. What are your hobbies? So my hobbies are perfume, makeup, history. I love to hike. I live in the Western North Carolina mountains, so there is nothing but hiking and waterfalls and beauty here. So we love to hike, and that's about what I've got time for, other than YouTube. Signature scent. I don't have a signature scent. I wear a different scent every single day, so that would be hard, but I think I'm going to make a signature scent with the Sylvain Delacourt one. Let's see here. Which fragrance does your husband like most on you? My husband loves Ariana Grande fragrances on me, and I think if I had to pick a number one from all of the Ariana Grande fragrances that he loves the most, it would be Sweet Like Candy. He's a dude. That's what he loves. So, what is my favorite movie? My favorite movie is Elizabeth. So the one with Cate Blanchett that came out back in the late 90s, I believe. It came out in like 97, 98, somewhere in there. So yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time. My favorite book, ooh, goodness. I haven't read books in a long, long time, but I love, the last time I did a lot of reading was a few years ago when I was on night shift, and I love some of the classics. I read Dracula, I read Jane Eyre, I read a lot of those kinds of books, and those are some of my favorites, so I would say that. What is your husband's take on your spending habits in regards to perfume? How do you respond? Okay, so we'll stop with that one. My husband and I have, as long as we've ever been married, have kept our finances separate. So we come together and pay the bills, and then our money is our money. So he is free to spend on whatever he wants, and I'm free to spend on whatever I want. And he's used to me always buying lots of makeup and perfume. So he knows that that's my love, my passion, and he could care less because it's my money. So that's his take on it. How do you respond to negative criticisms about or towards your acquisitions? Just like makeup, it's just perfume. We're not solving world hunger here. We're not, talking about religion or politics. There is nothing in the world to get heated and upset about when it comes to perfume. There's just not. And if somebody leaves comments, negative, ugly, hateful comments on my channel, or on my videos, I just remove them because number one, I don't want that kind of energy on my YouTube channel. That's not what I'm here for. And number two, it's just perfume. If you don't like it, that's okay. If I don't like it, that's okay. We all have different noses. We all have different body chemistry. We like what we like, and that's okay. And that's what makes us beautiful, because I can wear, Fricka by Robert Piguet on me and love it, and it smells amazing on me. You could wear the same perfume and hate it, and it smells like trash on you. I mean, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, if somebody comes at me ugly or negative, I just remove it, and I just don't give it the time of day, because people that do that kind of thing, like trolls, that's what they want from you. They want engagement, they want interaction, and I'm never going to give that to those people. So I just remove it and I move on with my life, because again, it's just perfume. Let's see here. If you created your own fragrance, what would it be? What notes would you use? We already covered that one. How did you meet your husband, and when did you know he was the one? I met my husband, back in 2010. We met in 2010 and we were married in 2011. So it was very quick. I was at that time a manager at a Starbucks that he used to come in when he would get off work. He was on night shift at that time. So he would get off in the morning and he would come in and get coffee before he went home to go to bed. So yeah. And one of the girls that I worked with started dating his roommate, and they were out one night, and I was out too, but I was at a bachelorette party in a different city, and she was texting me saying, hey, can you come meet us? I have somebody here that wants to meet you. And so I was like, oh man, I was tired. I just wanted to go home, but fate intervened, and I ended up just going and meeting them, and it ended up, we stayed out all night that night, and I mean, the rest is history. We've been inseparable ever since. We've been married we're going on 9 years this year, so yeah, that's how we met, and I knew he was the one very quickly, probably within the first month that we had been dating, just because he had all the values, he had everything that was important to me. I knew that he was just the one, and he has been. He's a wonderful husband, he's a wonderful father, and I'm so grateful to have him as my partner in life. So let's see, we're getting close to the end, guys. I'm sorry, I know this is long. What was it about history that made you so passionate that you got your degree in it? I love everything about history. I think that it's really, really important that people know and understand history, because history absolutely repeats itself. And if we don't have people that understand history as a whole and events and things that have happened, we are destined to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So I just have a passion for that, for knowing stories, for knowing about things that have occurred and have occurred multiple times. I also have a passion for people's stories, if that makes any sense, and which is what history is. It's the story of people and their lives and their experiences. And I think that because of that passion, I also am very, very passionate about true crime and things that are going on, and again, people's stories and their experiences and what is happening. So I think that that is what made me pursue a degree in history. What state do you live in? I live in North Carolina, so I live in the western North Carolina mountains. And what perfumes did you wear and like as a teen? That is the last question. So as a teen, from the time that I was about 15, I believe, I started wearing Cool Water for women. This is when I kind of got into my signature scent type phase, and I went through bottles of Cool Water. And then after Cool Water, I transitioned into Polo Sport Woman, which I don't know if you guys remember the frosted glass bottle with this silver cap. That is the one that was my signature, and I went through bottles and bottles of that as well. So yeah, and then I wore those until probably my early 20s, which is when I really started branching out, and that's when my true love for all things fragrance, different houses, what is now considered niche, but I don't remember knowing anything about niche back then, but like Creed, Jo Malone, those houses weren't massive the way that they are now, and I remember ordering samples all the time because I just wanted to experience these perfumes that at the time were so, so expensive. So that's really where my love for fragrance blossomed, and really when I kind of quit with the signature scents. Now I have had other signature scents from then. Stella McCartney's Stella was a signature. I've been through bottles of it. Burberry, the original Burberry for women, I've been through bottles of that. So I've always had kind of signature type scents, but I've always had just tons of fragrances in my collection. So anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it at that because I know this has been very, very long. If you've stuck with it, thank you so much. I hope this is interesting for you. I hope that, you got to know me a little bit better, and I'm so, so excited to have again hit 5,000, and I'm so excited that you are all here. My big focus for this year is going to be my YouTube channel. I really want to start posting more often. I really want to start doing some vlogs so you can really kind of see more of my kind of day-to-day life. And I'm hoping to make a lot of different transitions this year, and definitely take you along on this crazy ride that is my life. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it helpful in some way, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.